And then 2 weeks ago, 50,000 mile review. Are you doing this every 10,000 miles?
What's up? Oh, you just wanted another hug? Oh my god. I love you. No, she didn't. You gotta tell her to brush her teeth. She's stinky.
She is, but she says she had no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I thought she said that she didn't brush her teeth this morning when we were in the car. Remember? And she was like, "Oh, I'm looking for gum," and then she went into Walmart and she forgot to get the gum. That was today. All right, I gotta go do my video. Okay. I love you. Go lay down. All right. All right. She came back for another hug.
That's all right, man.
It was super cute.
I would have done the same thing.
Not brush your teeth?
No, I do that. No. No, yep, you caught me. Caught me red-handed.
Yeah, let me pull up. Let me also pull up the lot. Where's the chat?
I'm just looking at Tata Motors now.
You looking at Tatas?
Tata Motors, man. You know it.
All right, here we go.
I look forward to seeing your new vehicle lineup.
Yeah.
I'm curious as if they're actually going to come out with anything. Watch it just drop clothing lines now.
That is what that commercial looks like. It does not look like cars at all. It looks like clothing.
It does. I think that's all it is. They're giving up cars going to clothes.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just have to change a lane.
I mean, who are we to judge?
We can judge. That's actually our job, is to judge.
I mean, I guess to an extent. You want to do your intro thing? Are we doing an intro thing?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Is that thumbnail a picture of a vacuum?
No. It's an intercooler on top of a water cooler.
No, I get it now. I get it.
All right, perfect.
I thought it was like a Dyson.
It's a great start. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the very first episode of Around the Water Cooler. Oh, my God, I messed it up already.
No, that's not it. You're starting off strong, boys.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the first episode of Around the Intercooler. It's like Around the Water Cooler, where everybody gets together and talks about what's been happening during the week, except it's more car-related. And it's going to be a little bit more varied. We're not just going to talk about Subarus. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. I'm joined today with my co-host, who is going to be here every week with me, Tanner from Smeedia.
Every single week, these people have to look at my face now.
Yeah, they have the option. You're going to be able to either look at our face on either of our channels, or you can listen to our voice, where you can normally find podcasts where that information is actually forthcoming. I started putting that together this morning. I've been a little on the slow side because this is new for us, but hopefully this is something that we can start doing more regularly and people enjoy it. I know Tanner, you and I, we both listen to a lot of different podcasts. And it's just a fun thing to do. I think you said you've been wanting to do this for some time.
Yeah, we've talked about it in the past on and off. And, we've always made excuses. Oh, we can't do it this week. There's this going on. I can't do it this week because I'm going out of town. X, Y, and Z. I'm going to force you to be here now.
Yeah, but
I'm going to force you to be on your own channel.
Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes I need that push because and you can attest to this. You do so much stuff during the day. And you get home, and sometimes don't you want to just be in that lovely cafe that you're in?
I live in this cafe. I'm here every day.
That's it. You're going to live in that cafe, and I'm going to live in this, whatever this. This is actually a very nice looking apartment. So we have a couple of things that we want to talk about, but I want this to be a pretty fluid conversation. So, that's why we have the live stream running on the side, so people can feel free to ask questions, or we can incorporate some of those comments and concerns. Or, if we're just talking about stuff, wherever the conversation goes, I'll try to be a little bit directive, but I don't want it to be like, hey, this is what we got. That's all we're going to talk about. So I wrote down a couple of things that I wanted to bring up, and maybe we can start with this, is I made a video about a YouTuber losing his life in street racing. You okay to start with this one?
Yeah, so I'm just sharing it to my Instagram.
Oh,
so that way, if more people want to swing through, they can.
That's so smart. We should probably tell people we're doing this.
Yeah, you probably tell people.
That's how it works. We tell people that we're doing this. So that's what I wanted to start with, because I know that it wasn't something that I was going to talk about for an extended period of time, but people were asking me about it, and I know that you also like to drive your cars, and
I mean, who doesn't like to drive their cars?
I mean, some people don't. Some people genuinely don't like to drive. Some people like to just collect them, you know. But some of us
I mean, you're not wrong.
if you got that collector money,
I don't have collector money.
so we have driving. Well, I don't know. Some of us don't even have driving car money. But that's what I wanted to start with, is the conversation about street racing. Obviously, we know it's unsafe. There's other ramifications, like you get caught by the police, you can go to jail, you get your car impounded, depending on states. As we zoom into Tanner here, you actually mentioned something really interesting. By some of the laws in your state are actually pretty relaxed.
Yeah, they're a lot more lenient than I thought. I mean, I think it's important to note, like, you and I are also a bit older. We're both out of our 20s and whatnot. So I feel like a lot of the dumb stuff that we have done with cars, a lot of the time is typically when you're younger, like that 18 to like 25, I'd say, is when most people are doing that street racing stuff. So it's like you and I are both kind of at a phase where we don't necessarily do it anymore. I mean, granted, I used to do it, obviously. I mean, pretty much all of us used to do it. But there's like always that one turning point where you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And for me, that was when I was living in Louisiana. And we used to go street racing, because out there, dude, it's like, it's pitch black in the middle of the woods. There's like nobody around.
Yeah.
If you go like deep Louisiana, I remember this one I had my 350Z. We went out there was probably like a group of like 30 of us, and we were doing roll racing and on the freeway at like 2 a.m. And we would go out there and we do this all the time. And then eventually the police obviously caught on, and they like staged a setup out there. 3 a.m.
Wow.
2 Mustangs line up to do a pole, and then all you see is cop cars and cop lights turn on. Everybody dips out into the woods at night, goes black, and you go hiding. And it's like at a certain point, you're like, it's just not worth the risk. A, I mean, yeah, you could hurt yourself, but B, it's also the financial, and you could lose your license and whatnot. And if you lose your license, it can also impact your job. Like, I'm all for like doing a poll every now and then on the street and whatnot, like whatever. If there's no one around, it's safe, obviously do it. But the like straight on street racing, especially up here, dude, like, yeah, the fines that we talked about, because I pulled it up and it was like $500 for your first offense. What was it? $800 for your second and $1,500 for your third offense up here. But that's not talking about like reckless driving and everything else on top of that. It's just not worth it.
It's so funny that you mentioned like the fines, like that. When you look at something like that, where it's like, oh, it's only like $500, I'll just pay that. Because I actually just pulled it up on Missouri. Missouri's fine for first time offenders is up to $150.
$150?
Yeah. However,
$150.
$150, but there's possible jail time even for first offenders, up to 30 days in jail. Vehicle impoundment right away. You know, straight to jail right away. No way. You know,
jail.
Driver's license suspension. I think these are the things that you really have to make sure you're watching out for, because losing your vehicle so you can't drive to work. That's kind of like the biggest thing.
So you said vehicle impoundment and 30 days in jail. So we'll say you go to jail for 30 days. They impound your vehicle. Worst case scenario, some places are as high as $100. We'll take $100 times 30. That's $3,000 just in impound fee. Just in impound to get your car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Just to get it out. If you can even get it out the same day.
That's just a storage fee. That doesn't include like towing and anything else that they're gonna tack on, because they're gonna tack other stuff on.
Yeah, the state don't care. Somebody said, somebody in chat, and we're going to try to incorporate some of these chat things, but Link said, I would also like to add that somebody in my early 20s, the culture around cars is just about ego and who's fastest on the road. I think that hasn't changed yet. That definitely still hasn't changed. I think the age definitely brings some immaturity. And when it comes to cars, it really is like, you know, a penis measuring contest. I mean, that's why a lot of people, especially in my community, I've actually seen it. People want to, you know, just have 1,000 horsepower just so they can say, I have 1,000 horsepower. Just so I'm like faster than everybody else.
As somebody who's had 1,000 horsepower, it's not as much fun as it sounds. It's really not. It's fun for like a day.
So, okay. Run us through that. For somebody like me, I've never owned a 1,000 horsepower car. So what are some of the things that make it super annoying for people listening who want a 1,000 horsepower car?
You have 1,000 horsepower. You're never going to use it. You can't use all 1,000 horsepower on the street unless you're like deep out in the middle of nowhere with a very long straightaway. You're not going to use it all. You just can't. There's too many cars around. Weather permitting, also, once you start to get into like that power territory, you have to think about how hot is it outside? Even if you warm up your tires, is it going to hook? On top of that, you're constantly stressed. Doesn't matter what the car. I mean, I guess it does matter to an extent what the car is, but like when you take a 4-cylinder, even a 6-cylinder, or like these cars that are not intended to make 1,000 horsepower, and you start making 1,000 horsepower, shit's gonna break.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how overbuilt it is, shit's gonna break. So you're constantly stressing as you're driving it. You're paranoid, especially on a car where you've dumped so much money into it. You're always looking at like the data, the temperatures, everything else like that. It's fun for like a day when you're like, okay, cool, I have like this car and I have all this power, but you never use it. And then you're constantly stressing about it the whole time.
That it's gonna break or something's gonna happen. That's true.
And then even at the fact, let's say that you're not stressed about like how much money you spend into it. Then you have, like I said, there's all the environmental concerns. Like temperature, weather, is it raining, is it cold, is there traffic around? There's all this other stuff that you're just not going to use it. You're just never going to use it.
Which I think you've mentioned a few times, where you live, weather is a pretty big deciding factor if you can even go out and do anything.
Yeah, like this last week, it rained every single day.
Wow.
What are you gonna do with 1,000 horsepower? All-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, doesn't matter. Rain and 1,000 horsepower, you're just gonna spin. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the car is. You're not gonna hook.
These are lessons. I think
the other big thing, and this ties into that video that you made the other day on that one guy, is safety equipment. Half the people, including myself, I'm guilty of this. I didn't have all the proper safety equipment in my car when I was making that kind of power. But there's roll cages and Hans devices, proper seats, proper harnesses. Half the harnesses I see people bolt them to the floor behind them.
Yeah.
You get in an accident, it's going to break your back.
Yeah.
It's going to snap your neck. It's going to break your back. You're going to die. Half the, like, honestly, more than half, I'd say probably like 70% of what you're going to see, people don't have the proper safety equipment in these things.
I don't think people really. I think that's a problem. People don't really think about safety when they think like building 1,000.
Well, that's because nobody thinks they're gonna crash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing is that in that video and what happened there, it was not like a singular incident, because like if we look back to, I think it was last year where it was either last year or 2 years ago where they had this huge street scene in New Jersey, I think it was, where like the guy ran over like a family or something.
What?
Yeah, and it was like, let me see,
I think I vaguely remember that.
Family. It was. I'm pretty sure it was in the New England area.
It ran over. Was it a Mustang?
No, it was at night. It was a street. Again, they were all street racing.
I think I vaguely remember a G35 doing that.
I don't remember where it was.
And I think it was it North Carolina?
No, I thought it was like further up in like the New Jersey. I honestly, I don't know, but that's what was happening. They were all running out to do like all kinds of racing and do this and that, and what ended up happening was somebody ended up killing. And I think if I remember correctly, they ran.
Yeah,
it happened. They ran. So
they probably panicked. They're like, I don't know what to do. I just ran over a family.
If they even knew they ran, even if he knew that he did that, right? Yeah. And then the second thing was like, people were talking about, well, if the community comes together and closes down roads and blocks stuff off and kind of, I mean, but those are the people now who are in danger. Like, in St. Louis, we have this absolutely stupid thing, slideshows. And I know people, they're all over. They're everywhere. But like, I know who goes there. And it's so frustrating when they post the videos
during
and stuff.
Peak COVID. So in Washington, we have a bridge that goes over the Puget Sound called the Narrows Bridge, and it connects like the metropolitan Tacoma area to like the more residential Gig Harbor area. And there's two bridges, each of them only go one way. They shut down the bridges and we're doing these like sideshows on the bridge.
Oh my goodness!
And it's like, and it's not a small bridge. I mean, you go off this bridge, you're a couple hundred feet in the air. It's just
like, and I think it's like you said. I've gotten older, right? We're older, and I'm sure that if I was like 22 and I had a really nice car, which I didn't at 22, I did not. I had a Toyota Tercel. I had actually the Tercel was dead. I didn't have any car. I was actually driving my family's. Whatever 2005 Honda Civic. That was the family car.
That's a pretty nice car.
It was actually. It was brand new.
That's a pretty nice car.
New. It was very nice. But I'm sure that I would have found myself in those situations where I was like, oh, this is like really cool. It's like Fast and Furious. I want to go do this crazy shit with these people, and I probably would have hurt myself
See?
because I don't know how to drive. I don't know how to do anything.
Well, see, that's the other thing. Like you used to post. I haven't seen you post it anymore. Like you used to post street racing videos. Like you used to go
Last
on
year,
YouTube.
yeah, but I made sure where I went was very specific.
You could go through any one of my videos ever. You will not catch me street racing in a single one. The other big problem, and I've seen this come back to people. People upload themselves street racing, and then the local police of that area will come back, find all their videos, and then prosecute them afterwards.
Yeah.
There is a level of self-incrimination I will not post on the internet.
Yeah. So it's so funny that you said that because there's a YouTube channel I watch called Legal Legal. I'm sure you've heard of it. He just did a whole video on the Marquise Hunter driving his Lamborghini going 86 miles per hour down to 25. Like, so he talked about that whole thing. And the thing was, there is self-incrimination, but the data has to be there, right? The people that get dinged like that are the ones that have like speed limit signs flashing, their actual speed, where they're at in the morning, and a lot of stuff like that. And that's exactly why he got what happened to him, why he got a fine.
Because they blurred the one speed on the main cluster, but they did not blur the secondary speed.
They didn't. And where he was, it was easy for people to see. People made complaints. People called. So like, and I agree. And I agree. It's dangerous. You shouldn't do it. But like, if you're going to do it.
The dangerous factor aside, you're just self-incriminating yourself.
Yeah. But if you're going to self-incriminate yourself, save. Because like in my videos, you see none of that stuff. Yeah. You don't even know where the hell we are at. And I on purpose.
You tell us you're in Mexico.
Well, yeah.
You get
I'm
from
close
there
to the border.
You get to there from Missouri pretty quick.
I got a fast car. What can I say?
Right?
I fly to Mexico every night. So that's just how it is, right? So that's the street racing thing. Anything you want to add to that? Anything you want to tell your viewers what to do?
If you're gonna, people are gonna do it regardless. Yeah. At least be cautious. The biggest thing is just don't endanger other people when you do it. Mm-hmm. Like you see how these people like quote unquote cutting it up on the freeway. That's the dumbest thing.
Oh my god, dude!
I cannot stand it.
Yeah, and I watch some of those videos like low key hoping they crash. And I've seen some where
that's the whole reason anybody watches them. Nobody's watching it and like, damn, dude, this guy's a good driver. This guy's doing phenomenal, weaving in and out of traffic of minivans filled with families.
I don't like it, but it's one of those things where it's the younger crowd thinks it's really cool, and
when I was 18, never did I once think like, man, I should go like stupid fast on the freeway and cut in and out of traffic.
Dude. But first of all, I think maybe because you didn't have the car to do it. Did you have a car that you felt confident doing that? Oh, that was then?
Yeah. So I had my first car, which was a 98 or is a 88 Subaru XT, and then I left for the Army. And 18-year-old me, fresh out of basic training, had some money bird in my pocket, went out to the local dealership, bought a 2004 350Z at like a 28% APR.
My God.
Oh, hot stuff.
So you were actually the type of person who was supposed to go do that.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm glad that you did. Thank you for not endangering everybody in Louisiana. Because it could have been bad.
This was Arizona at the time.
Oh, so you got all those empty roads.
Yeah, see, even out in the desert. There's enough
on the
road during the day cutting it.
Yeah, that's actually in St. Louis. It's like Chargers and Altimas. It's so funny.
Dude, it's always Altimas and like Camrys and Corollas. It's always like the weirdest cars that I see doing it over here.
I wish that it wasn't true, but when you look over, it's always an Altima. It's so bad.
It's always like a 2009 Altima.
Yeah,
it's
very
black
specific.
and it's got a dent in like the passenger side door. Yeah,
it's got a donut.
The hood's like crushed from when they've crashed into someone before, but they're still driving it. It's got a bungee cord holding the hood down, and they're ready to go, man.
But hey, you know what? They've got the confidence. That's what they've got. As they're cutting through traffic.
Some people will call it confidence. I don't know if that's what I'd call it.
All right. So street racing, try not to do it. It's dangerous. But if you're going to do it, really think twice. But I guess as adults, we really should tell the kids don't street
I'm
race.
kind of confused by Link's comment. It's just who is modding their car or buying a car for themselves or for views or to impress other people. I don't know what that's in reference to.
I think maybe back to the 1,000 horsepower thing, because he's also mentioned that you can't even use a street, like a 1,000cc bike. It's kind of useless.
No.
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you know, even these stock cars that are making like 700-800 horsepower, you don't need any of that.
Not like realistically.
You just don't.
Like realistically, I think the perfect like horsepower level for a street car is like 4 to 500.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough to have fun with. It's enough to beat 90% of the cars you're going to run into on the road. You can send it. It's still reasonable enough to like reasonably affordable. I want to say to build a car to that power level. So you know.
But even cars you don't have to build.
Jay.
Cars you just buy.
Twisted Customs. He's my neighbor at the shop.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's the one with that twin turbo Mustang that you see driving around every now and then in the background.
Oh, where's getting around? We're all around the intercooler tonight. All of us are around the intercooler. Okay, all right. So that's street racing. There was a couple other topics. Which one do you want to tackle next?
I'll let you pick, man. You're hosting tonight. I'm co-hosting.
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
I'm hosting next week. You're co-hosting next week.
All right. So I'm driving this. Okay, let's talk about what I. Okay, so I actually just before we started the stream, like
I know where we're going.
20 minutes ago, I just saw for the very first time the Jaguar commercial. And I knew what was going on with Jaguar because I read all the articles, I saw the logo, but I just now saw the commercial, and I think Jaguar is going to it looks like they're shifting focus to like
clothing.
Like,
fashion.
Is that what's happening?
Yo,
like,
all I'm hoping that from this Jaguar commercial, the F-Type comes down in price enough that I can reasonably afford one.
Man.
I've always wanted an F-Type, and I hope that. I mean, we saw the stock prices dipped on Tata.
They did.
Jaguar's owned by Tata. Their stock did dip from that commercial, so I'm hoping it affects the F-Type prices. But I mean, that aside, name a notable car from Jaguar in the past 10 years. That's not the
Nothing.
F-Type.
I cannot think of any.
Only the F-Type.
car.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
This is
Jaguar,
you're absolutely true.
I mean, Jaguar was already on the decline, and then they just did their video accomplish what they wanted? Did they get people talking about them? Absolutely. Did they do it in the right way? Absolutely not.
No, it's so funny because Jaguar made a comment after this, absolutely terrible release.
Jaguar's defending themselves.
They are. They said trust and reserve judgment. They said we're rebranding. Oh, and then of course the logo is awful. The design of the logo is like
it's
going
terrible.
From some really cool font to like Comic Sans.
Bro, the top comment on that video is still my favorite.
What was the comment again?
Jaguar's pronouns are was were.
I just don't know because when do you think Jaguar kind of went down? Because I remember when I was younger,
like when did they start going downhill?
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, when was the
90s?
last? When did they come out with the F-Type? When was the first year of the F-Type?
2010?
No.
Type release. It was
2013.
2013. Okay, so still
they've been on the decline since 2013.
Oh, so pretty much since the F-Type came out?
If you look, there's the F-Type that I'm seeing right now just on, wow, dude, they're only 30 grand for an F-Type. Insane. So
but I mean, a regular F-Type or like that supercharger? Because you don't want
a Type S. I know they have a Type R also.
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of different Jaguar models, or for the F-Type. But it's like since the F-Type came out, that's the last notable thing that they've come out with, and that's 2013. It's 11 years ago. Jaguar hasn't done anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm on their website right now. So all vehicles, they have a F-Pace. So they have an SUV called an F-Pace, which has an electronic version called an E-Pace. Or is that not electronic? I don't even know. And that's it. The XF, which is the only sedan they have. So they've got 3 cars and some electric car called I-Pace. Never heard of it. Never seen it before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all Jaguar makes. Who owns Jaguar?
Tata.
But who?
Tata owns Jaguar. They own Jaguar, Land Rover, a whole bunch of companies.
Oh, interesting. Who owned it before that? Ford. Ford owned it before that? Ford also purchased Jaguar in 2008. Oh, they
That's
sold it.
the worst move they could have made.
They sold it in 2008 to Tata Motors.
That's the best move Ford's made ever.
There's not a lot.
Bro, there's not a single. Dude, one of the other comments, my Jag just lost 90% of its value.
Oh,
I am curious to see if people are going to start selling their Jaguars.
Selling their Jaguar. I mean, I would imagine if people don't want to wait to see what's going to happen with them, if Jaguars are already going down. But I mean, again, I don't see a lot of Jaguars on the road. Like,
neither do I.
Hardly ever.
I heard, and I don't know the validity of this, but I heard the Jaguar is taking a year off from actually making and selling cars to dealerships because they have such a high volume of Jaguars sitting on dealerships that the company isn't even making cars for a year. So maybe they are moving to
They are
fashion.
moving to clothing. Yeah, they're moving to clothing.
Who knows? Maybe they actually are
My
moving
goodness.
to clothing.
Yeah, here's Twisted Custom said, my car stopped being fun on the street after we made 650. So that's going back to the conversation about.
Yeah, I mean, his car
Driving
makes
cars.
stupid power. I've seen that thing do. I can hear that car from 2 miles away as he's coming to the shop.
Kelly said, my husband said it's a JC Penney font for the. Yeah, I mean, it does look like that. That J does look a little like that. I mean, my mom's favorite car growing up was a Jaguar. I always said if I ever had like big dog money, I was gonna buy her a Jaguar. But now I don't know.
I
would
listed
even
my
buy.
Jag first. I listed my Jag today.
Oh, that sucks though, because I imagine people are like thinking about what's gonna happen with Jaguar after this.
Dude, like, I feel like Jaguar in like the 80s and 90s, maybe even early 2000s if you want to stretch it. They made like awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember my buddy Eric had like it was like an 80s Jag with a V12. Had 2 fuel tanks, one on each side of the car. So whenever you got gas, you had to fill up both fuel tanks on each side of the car. It was cool. It was like an old cool Jag. I mean, didn't James Bond drive Jaguars?
He did
In some of the old movies.
He had a
what has
Jaguar.
happened? So what has happened?
Wait, did he ever have a Jaguar, or did he had all Austins?
I thought
Austin's
some of them were
Aston Martin.
Jaguars.
007 Jaguar.
I'm pretty sure Joe.
Oh,
drove
he
Jag.
had that ugly one from the early 2000s. They call it the XKR. I was
Yeah,
not a
I
fan.
mean, still,
That's a pretty ugly car.
it's just like.
Because they always been too broke to own one.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I feel like a lot of automakers are kind of following in the same path that Jaguar is. They're just being a lot more quiet about it. Jaguar they just straight up came out and said it.
Listen, we're done.
They just straight up came out and said it. But I feel like a lot of automakers are kind of doing the same thing.
Wait, doing what? Going over to
I'm
EVs?
trying to.
Because that's what Jaguar
I'm
is trying to say.
do this in a politically correct way.
What are they even doing? Why is the rebranding happening? Are they saying like we're not going to make regular cars anymore? We're just going to do EVs?
I mean, they've been trying to like push towards EV stuff. I know that's something that Jaguar was trying to do when I was looking into it a little bit more. That's a terrible move. I mean, look at all the. That was another topic that we were kind of talking about was how companies are getting away from EVs.
It's.
Have you seen how much the value of Teslas has depreciated on owners? I saw a video where some dude bought like a brand new. It was like a Model 3 Performance or something. He paid $148,000 from Tesla. The car was 2 years old with like 30,000 miles on it, and Tesla valued it at $40,000.
Yeah,
$100,000 depreciation in 2 years on a 30,000 mile car.
Yeah, it looks like it is going down. It's currently, as of earlier this year, it's got the highest depreciation on
a Tesla.
New to used cars. Yeah.
You know what bothers me?
Between 30 to 51% within the first.
I don't
3
know.
years.
I don't know if you experience this with Tesla owners, but I see it frequently. How they think they're better than people.
Yes, I do. Yes,
it's a $30,000 refrigerator. Like, does it go fast? Yes. Does it have? Will it like beat a gas car?
But even regular, but the regular ones aren't even. That's
no. I mean, they're quick. I'll give it to them. They're quick.
Here, let's go look. So a Model 3.
But it's like at least my fuel gas powered car is actually going to hold value.
Yeah, I have 3 friends from like my past. I used to work with them in old companies, and to this day, all 3 of them post on their Facebook every day like they have the best thing that they've ever gotten. And I'm like,
I hate it.
It's not that it's bad. It's just like the way that you guys make it out, and the way that you like they're constant like gas this, gas sucks that, and oil is going down and blah blah blah. And I'm just
what do they think charges their car?
Yeah.
Where do they think the electricity come from?
All right, what's everybody saying here? Looking at
There's
her
a
spot a bunch.
comment
They
that
kept
made-
dropping. Okay, so that's really interesting. So my wife, she works for Enterprise.
Yeah.
Enterprise Rental, and they were actually talking about that, about like all the shit that's been going on with Hertz. Oh yeah, I see that.
That made me laugh.
Jag happens to rhyme with. I mean, you ain't wrong. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I know that 100 years from now, cars are going to change, but I don't know how they're
Who
going to
says we're
change.
gonna even have cars in 100 years?
I thought we were going to have
Who
cars in
knows?
2001.
Maybe the government could go on some crazy tyrannical overthrow, impound everyone's car, everyone's gas cars, crush them all, and then we're all stuck with Teslas.
We're stuck with horses.
You know,
Well-
at least a horse has personality.
This is true. Well, I mean, if I'm going to get a Tesla, at least give me the used one that's already depreciated. I don't want to buy a new one and be knocked off. Like
No,
50%
they're
of
not
its
going to let you
value.
buy used. They're all going to be new. See, that's the thing, though. Here's how I view Teslas, and I could be wrong on this. A Tesla is like this. It's like a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to buy someone's old cell phone when it comes time for you to upgrade?
If
you want
it's like
someone's old phone?
90% value off, yeah.
You would take someone's old cell phone
Yeah.
instead of getting a brand new one.
Yeah. But see, this is a problem with me because I'm a cheap brown man.
Okay,
So
would
if
you?
it's a $1,200 cell
Let's
phone,
do this. Let's do this.
Okay.
Would you buy somebody's used refrigerator versus getting a new one?
it depends on the cost.
Because
I'm
they're
100% being honest. It really depends on the
You're
cost. Because
wild,
I
man.
just did that. I have
You're
a
wi-
used refrigerator in my garage.
You bought someone's used refrigerator? Did you
It's
clean
fantastic. Yeah. Actually, well, it's because I knew it was my mother-in-law's. That's why I got
it?
it.
All right.
Actually, we got it for free. I
You
didn't
know
even
where
buy
it
it.
came from.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously.
I'm talking a stranger. You don't know this person. You're
well,
gonna buy their
then,
fridge.
then I need to see the Carfax on that fridge. I need to see that fridge
I mean,
facts.
I guess there's a Carfax on the fridge at that point. But
If I know where the fridge is coming from, if I know where the car is coming from, then, maybe. I'm not going to say 100%, but like maybe.
absolutely not.
Because, okay, let's say 300 years from now, right? That's a decent
I'm
amount
dead.
of time.
I'm dead.
You're dead. We're dead. Everybody in the chat said we're all dead. 300 years
Well,
from
and
now.
you don't know that everybody here is
well, man, then I want to know what they're eating.
dead. You don't know that everybody here would be dead.
So, whatever the cars are then, obviously some sort of like.
We're taking bullet trains.
Mm,
We're
then
teleporting.
forget
In
that.
300 years,
I
man,
don't
we're
know,
teleporting.
dude. You think 300 years will be teleporting? Because like.
Ain't no one gonna have a car.
But then now we're gonna have this other problem, like, oh, guys, the teleporters are backed up because like the servers are running
does a
slow
teleporter
today.
get
I
backed
don't
up?
know. Like,
You
computers
literally
have to
just
run
go
it.
through it and you're somewhere else.
Hey, Microsoft goes down at least once a week,
It's like Portal.
and the world shuts down.
It's like Portal.
Yeah. Oh, guys. Oh man, what? I wasn't supposed to teleport here. I just teleport over there, and then it accidentally teleported you to the wrong country. It can happen.
I mean, it could.
Half your body gets teleported, and the other half doesn't. Literally got mine used. Kelsey says literally got mine used. Got a commercial style deep freezer for 45. See, that's what I'm saying. It
A
depends on the
deep
price.
freezer and a refrigerator are not the
It de-
same.
It depends on the price.
They're not the same. A
Oh.
deep freezer, you're storing things in. A fridge is getting everyday use. A fridge, everyday
Teleporters,
use.
teleporters are always backed up. You're like, oh my god, what's the wait time on teleporters today? 3 minutes? Oh my god, I got places to be.
That's
I
the
got
new
places to
traffic.
be.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, what about like Futurama and they got like those tubes, like the bank, and people
Absolutely
get
not.
stuck.
I'm not going in those.
I don't know.
Maybe
what's gonna be
maybe
300
after
years
the
from now.
the first time would probably be the scariest. But
They're gonna tell you, okay, Tanner, you get its used Tesla or this tube, like they have
me
at
the
the bank.
tubes. Give me the
Give me
tubes.
tube.
You can't tell me the tubes wouldn't be fun.
But it would be fun until that first backup and everybody's ramming their head into the next person's ass.
Well, there's obviously safety precautions. You're not going human centipede inside of the tubes.
But like the people who run these are the same people who run some of our systems today, and I don't fully trust
you're right.
them.
People are going to human centipede inside the tube.
They're
Give me
gonna
that
human
point.
centipede inside the tube. It's happening one way or the other. The future always comes back to the human centipede. So that's our
a little
conversation on
concerning.
EVs.
That's a little concerning.
I don't know. I love the future, and I love fantasizing about how cool
How do you love the future if you
could
don't know what
be.
the future holds?
Well, no, it's in like the idea of fantasizing what we could potentially have.
An
I
hour
was-
from now, future waste could fall down the stairs, break his foot.
Well, then I don't have to worry about driving at all. All my problems are solved.
Touche.
Oh, that's Daniel said claustrophobic. So I guess, well, Daniel, what if we make the tubes see-through?
Are these
Does
like
that
Willy
help?
Wonka style, like chocolate factory?
Yeah, yeah.
tubes?
Well, it's like Futurama. Have you ever watched that show?
yeah, of course. I've
Yeah,
watched
so it's like
Futurama.
this see-through tubes, and that's where I got like the traffic jam idea. Like people are like slowly going through the tube.
Not really mad. All the people from the Jaguar commercial are going to be in those tubes.
Oh my god, I've seen some of those outfits. They will not fit in the tube.
Bro, like, I'm just confused. Like, that's the thing that confuses me with the Jaguar commercial. There's not a single car in it.
There really isn't, and there's a lot of
There's not a
outfits.
single. There's not even a single vehicle,
Yeah, I don't understand.
unless you consider an elevator a vehicle.
Was there even?
I'm
An
pretty
elevator
sure
in
they
there?
were in an elevator.
No,
Right? Yeah,
they
they start out
were-
in an elevator.
Did they? All I saw was the rock that they were sitting on.
The gold yellow elevator.
Okay, now I got to go back and watch it again. Where is it? Jaguar. Okay.
It's
here
the
we go.
very beginning. And then what is it?
Oh yeah, they are. So they come out of the elevator. Actually, you know what? That's probably not even an elevator. It's just like a pod that got dropped off on a random planet, and they said, "Here, make a car." And they're like, "Best I can do is this wide dress." What about that dude that was like spinning around with the paintbrush?
The grandpa with the paintbrush.
And then they all sit down on this rock and do like the Vogue thing.
I don't understand what they're trying to convey.
And their thing is copy nothing. Ain't nobody copying that.
Nobody wants to
And
copy
nobody is copying that.
that. No one wants to be that. Like,
It's-
okay. I don't want to go too deep in the political side of things, but I'm gonna dabble in
here
it
we
real
go.
quick just because
Here
it
we
is
go.
intertwined with this car brand thing right now.
It is.
Personally, I don't care what people do with their time. You want to
Mm.
be whoever you want. You want to do whatever you want. I don't care. When brands like this start pushing it to their consumers, that's when it's like, you're kind of dabbling in a territory I don't think you should be in. You're either gonna, in their case, it obviously did not work out for them at all if you
Yeah.
read the comments for it, but you're either gonna alienate your current existing customers who may have been lifelong Jag. I saw some people in the comments of this, and it may or may not be true. People comment whatever they want on YouTube videos, but I've seen people who are long life Jaguar owners. Somehow, I don't know what fucking Jaguars they're even buying at this point, but
They don't buy new
long
ones. I
life
think they just
Jaguar owners
add 'em.
who now are like, yeah, I'm done with this brand. It's like you kill off your entire consumer base.
Oh, man.
And
Now
it's
I'm
like
reading
there's-
these
and
comments.
it's like they're going through an identity crisis. But it's Jaguar. I thought it was supposed to be like a European luxury performance car brand. I thought
Yeah.
they already had an identity.
Well,
And-
clearly their identity has changed because you're absolutely right. Because even if you don't look at it in like the socially, like the social sense of it, you just look at, okay, they had a consumer base. In my mind, that consumer base was older people.
Yeah,
Very
agree.
older people who have like an idea for what they liked when they were younger, but now they just want a luxury, comfortable car that's big.
Yeah.
That's, in my mind, that's Jaguar. Nothing on this commercial. You're absolutely right. If the people that bought a Jag looked at this commercial, their first question would be like, "What the hell is this?"
Who are they appealing to?
Yeah. Well, I
And
can
the
tell
other
who they're
thing-
appealing
the
to.
other thing, and I don't want this to come out sounding bad, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say all the people in this commercial probably couldn't afford a Jaguar.
Maybe.
And if
That's
they
possible.
could, I don't think they're buying one.
I don't know. You can get a brand new one
Bro,
for 47.
none of the people in this commercial look like they would drive a Jaguar.
Let me go back and look at all of them now.
Just go to
when they're on the
timestamp
rock.
19 seconds.
Hold on,
Just
here
go
we
to
go.
19 seconds.
Okay. All right.
Do any of those
The
people
dude
look like
on
they
the
would drive a
left,
Jaguar?
the dude on the left in the red,
Absolutely
looks like
not.
he already
he's driving,
owns a Jaguar.
No, absolutely not. He's driving a Mini Cooper Countryman.
You think so? What about Dolph Lundgren over
Absolutely.
here on the right?
Which one?
The individual in the orange all the way on the right.
I like how you worded that.
Because I don't know what's going on, right? I'm not trying to.
I'm
I'm
gonna be
not trying
honest,
to mess
that's
this.
a Toyota. That's a Prius owner.
You
That
think
person drives
so?
a Prius.
I don't
That
know,
is
man.
a new Prius.
I
owner.
got Subaru vibes on this one.
I
That's a
could get,
cross
like,
track right there.
I could get like cross track or like Outback Wilderness. I could see it, but I'm leaning more towards new Prius.
Here,
I'm
if-
just saying, none of the people in the Jaguar commercial looked like they would. I'm going out on a limb. I don't know their financial status, but they don't look like they could afford a Jaguar in today's economy. B, they don't look like they would even want to drive a Jaguar.
And I think that's what it is. Yeah, they want younger kids.
None
But
of these
even
people
still,
are like young-looking
kids are not going to
kids.
buy Jaguars, though. They're not going
No.
to buy Jaguars.
They want their G80 BMWs.
Oh,
they want their
goodness.
WRXs, their
Well,
STIs,
even-
their Evos.
Yeah, the young crowd is going to buy
They're
a piece of shit
Corvettes.
clapped out Honda Civic or WRX.
Bro, none of those people.
Yeah, ain't happening. I don't.
They-
Okay, so Jaguar's doing some stuff. They're
Jaguar needs to seek therapy. They're having an identity crisis.
you know what? Let's just wait and see what happens. That's the best I can say.
I think we already know what's
Let's
gonna
see
happen.
what happens. Oh, I mean, you never know. You never know.
You want to do a friendly wager?
Okay, but I will
50.
remind you, Subaru was going down, and we had the friends. Our friends
Subaru's
came
still
through.
going down. I'm sorry. Subaru's like Titanicing straight to the bottom of the ocean right now. Okay?
All right, what's the weight?
There is nothing good at Subaru, but that's a topic for later if we really want to get into that.
We will eventually get into it one day.
I will bet you 20 friendly doubloons
Okay.
that we will see Jaguar come out with electric vehicles over the next year. Because remember, they're apparently taking a year off from car sales. So
Okay.
in a year,
make
they're probably going
clothing.
to come out with this whole line of electric vehicles. They're not going to sell, and Jaguar is going to file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
That's my prediction for Jaguar.
Man, that's a good one. That's been happening to a lot of people lately. That just might happen.
I foresee it. This is what I
All
see
right.
happening. Jaguar is going to file bankruptcy. Tata is going to sell them off to cheap for someone.
Tata's going to try to sell them back to Ford.
Ford doesn't want that. Ford doesn't want to be associated with that at all. You look at the people who drive Fords. They're not gonna.
Yeah,
they're gonna see that. They absolutely no way.
Maybe that's why they sold it
Absolutely
off, because
not.
they were like, I don't know which way this is going. Jag new car ask on 2024 is 100% electric. Yeah, I mean they're already trying to push I think at least one electric car that's on their website right now. Out
They're
of like
not
the
doing a very
4
good
cars
job.
that they sell. Yeah, I never even heard of it.
Like I
Jaguar
said, we haven't heard of
cars.
anything from Jaguar in the past 10 years when they released the F-Type.
That's the only. I thought for the longest time it's the only car they had. That and the
Yeah.
sedan, because the sedan
Yeah.
I actually saw on the road. Wow, this is pretty. Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to save the Tatas.
You'd think that going to the Tatas was a savior itself, but it did not help them.
Would you rather drive a new electric Jag or a tuk-tuk?
100% tuk-tuk.
Who would want a
100%.
tuk-tuk?
I don't
I want
even
a
care what the other car was. Tuk-tuk is the answer, which
Tuk-tuk
also
is
is
the
called
answer.
the rickshaw in India.
Okay,
and
all right,
almost
Miata
everywhere
or
else.
tuk-tuk?
100%.
Tuk-tuk?
Tuk-tuk.
I knew it.
100%.
Dude, you can't go wrong with a tuk-tuk.
Unless you could take a Miata and modify it to have 3 wheels, then I'll take the
Yeah.
Miata trike.
Bro, I bet you could turn a Miata into a tuk-tuk.
Ah, dude, that's
I want to
I'd
see
like it.
Mazda come out with that. Miata tuk-tuk.
A Miata tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuks are pretty awesome. So when I was in Pakistan, we used to go to school in tuk-tuks and rickshaws.
Did you?
Every morning, the rickshaw guy, the tuk-tuk guy would come pick us up, and it'd be like 18 kids in this thing, and we would actually be hanging on the outside of it, and that's how I went to school. Like, you want to talk about safety?
That doesn't
And-
surprise me. Dude, when I was in Afghanistan, when I deployed over there, since I flew drones, I mean, I used to watch the city all the time. It was my
Mhm.
job just to now I sound creepy. It was my job to creep
Wow.
on people.
Wow.
But it's like I'd see like
Tell us
massive
more
amounts
military
of people,
secrets.
right? I would see massive amounts of people on tuk-tuks just going around the city.
Yeah.
I don't know how these tuk-tuks have so much power to pull all that weight.
Dude, they're wild, and they have like no exhausts, and like most of the ones that were in Pakistan, the engine was right underneath the seat, so the entire time you're just like shaking
Yeah.
around, and the tires so tiny, the like how the weight was set up. I'm surprised more tuk-tuks didn't flip over. They just don't. But like I always thought, every time that man
Bro,
went
they
around the
got
corner,
good
it was gonna
center of
flip.
gravity. They got good.
It was
dude,
usually
they're
the
owned
fat
by
guy
Tata.
driving it. That's why.
They're owned by Tata. They're gonna be quality. You got Tata tuk-tuks.
No, I was definitely scared of those. Crazy these days, a Prius looks more desirable. Okay,
Dude,
that
I love
right
the new
there,
Prius.
I love the new Prius.
The new Prius
Yes.
looks good.
It
Oh,
grew up.
how we fallen.
Jags nobody likes, but the Prius everybody's like,
Dude, the new Prius looks
"All right,
good.
I'll buy one. When the new Prius looked good, but then when I saw the first picture that somebody posted of like a lowered Prius on wheels with like it was
Have you
all
seen the one
black
with the
with a
wide
tint.
body kit and the bags?
Yes, I have.
Looks phenomenal.
And it looks great. It looks almost as good as a B9 Tribeca on bags.
No, we've completely taken this the wrong direction.
We're gonna talk about that one day. We are gonna talk
No,
about
the
that. We'll
B9
save that for a different stream.
No, the B9 Tribeca is ass. Always,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's ass.
no.
It
You know
is.
what? We will have a whole segment devoted just to the
You
B9
want to
Tribeca.
spend an hour to an hour and a half of me shitting on the B9 Tribeca.
Yeah.
Done.
I
There's
do.
nothing good about it.
I
There's
do.
not a single thing good about it.
We'll definitely talk about that. Maybe a hot take, but an FA24 powered STI would be awesome. I don't think it's a hot take. I think it was gonna happen, and then
I mean, that's just a WRX with a 6-speed swap.
yeah, basically, and it
It's
is
literally just a WRX with 6-speed.
That's not a
swap.
hot take. That's pretty badass. He says thoughts on Project Midnight. Amazing.
It doesn't
That's it.
even use an
It's
FA24.
amazing. It doesn't, and that's okay. We embrace all the Subarus.
It doesn't even. It's just a VB body,
Yeah,
a heavily modified VB
heavily
body.
modified.
I'm pretty sure. Doesn't it use like an EJ20 or EJ22?
It is actually a 20. It's a 22. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
non-V-stroke
it's EJ
22.
powered.
Well, because like they got all that money, they're like just
I'm just saying. Even Subaru and Vermont Sports Cars knows that the EJ is on top.
it's true for now. Let's see.
For
soon,
now and forever.
Soon, Vermont Sports Cars is going to start making those electric STIs, and then we're going to see what's going to happen.
Then Subaru is going to follow the same path as
Yeah.
Jag.
Well, let's wait for their commercial, but some of those Subaru commercials already look like that.
You're right.
I tell you, their
absolutely-
Instagram definitely looks like that. Like I'm not a hating guy, but sometimes when I look at Subaru USA's Instagram,
All
it
I'm
does bother
saying,
me.
you look at their Instagram, and that's where the stereotype of Subaru owners comes
Oh
from.
yeah, 100%. That's
It's
the
from-
Mumu
it's
Subaru
from
people
Subaru.
is they come from the Instagram.
Subaru's intentionally doing it.
But I get it, right? That's where all their money is. But it doesn't make me happy. Like I want
I mean,
more.
that's where their money's
STIs.
always been.
I want more WRXs.
Subaru's money has
STIs.
never been in their performance cars.
I want a 2025 6-cylinder XT.
You'll literally never get that.
Nobody. This is never gonna happen.
I can
What-
build you one.
You can. Well, that's in
You
a
want the
few
engine in
years.
the
I
back?
might be able
We
to
can do
build my
that
own. Actually, I want a mid-engine. I want a mid-engine, midship.
I don't even know how you would do that. I don't even know how you'd be able to keep it all-wheel drive and do that.
I don't.
It would have to be set up like a GTR where the transaxle comes out of the oil pan on the engine.
Mhm. That's what I was gonna say. Either that, or you have like two axles going like this, the two drive shafts, and then the engine right.
What?
here. You have one
Like,
drive
are you
shaft
talking
coming
about
out
like
of
an R35, where how
Maybe.
an R35 has
It's
a
an engine.
coupler that comes off and then
One
goes
on
to
this
the
side and
front,
one on
kinda
that
like
side?
a transfer case?
Yeah,
Well, it's more like a transfer case, but yeah.
that's this. We need to do this to the engine. Yeah. See, okay. I was saying when I saw the Santa Fe, the Hyundai Santa Fe, I thought, why the hell did Subaru not make the Baja? Because now all these people are buying this shit, and we could have had another.
If I remember correctly, auto manufacturers, it's not worth it for auto manufacturers to build small trucks like that anymore because there's ridiculous fees associated with it, and it's not
Really?
financially feasible for them. I forgot what it is, but there's some fee that auto manufacturers have to make on lightweight or small duty pickup trucks, which it would be considered a pickup truck at that point.
That sucks. That makes me sad because I would have been.
You know what makes me sad about the Subaru thing? Now
Hmm.
that we're on this topic,
Yeah.
they came out with that rendering for a new SVX, and they never did anything with it. And I thought that thing looked
saw a
so
new
good.
SVX render. What are you
I
talking
thought
about?
it looked so good.
Let me see. SVX render?
New Subaru SVX
Was it white?
render. No, this was a while ago. I'm trying to find it. This was like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
I
think.
never saw that. The only one I
They
found was this
they
white
came
one.
out with a render on it, and it looked so good. Everyone said they hated it. I loved it. This.
The blue one?
I'm gonna send you. It's gray with
Okay.
like blue grill inserts.
Oh, yeah. This was what everybody was calling like the E-Ray or E-Rock.
bro,
or
I
whatever.
loved that thing. You lower it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It looked good.
I did a video on that actually because nobody knew
Did
what
you?
it was. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be an
Sports.
SVX.
You think so? This was just like Subaru saying like, "Hey, we're gonna make high
I just sent
performance."
you the link to it,
Yeah, I do remember this.
bro. I loved it.
It looks good. I do like
Everyone
it.
said they hated it. I was like, I love it.
But
Then
that's
again,
like
I like weird stuff.
if future cars don't look like future cars, I don't want them.
What do you mean?
Like if a future
You just
car,
said you were excited for the future.
That's what I'm saying. If it doesn't look like a futuristic crazy car, then I don't want it. Right?
What do you
it shouldn't
want?
be like 2028 and the car still looks like it's from like 2015.
The fat electrician did a whole video on that tax. Yeah, so there is some tax. I think he said it's the chicken tax.
chicken tax. Huh.
Yeah, I remember there was some. I just remember there was some tax associated with lightweight duty trucks from auto manufacturers, and they had some crazy fee that they had to pay for it.
On small trucks. Here we go. Light chicken tax on small trucks. Chicken tax is a 25% tariff on imported light trucks to the United States. The tax was imposed in 1964 by President Lyndon Johnson in response to European tariffs on American chicken imports.
There you go.
The tax is named after the chicken war that began in the 1950s. Not to be confused with the chicken turkey war, which is why we have Thanksgiving today. Yeah. It was on the
That's why the
Subaru
Baja is
Rat.
never going to come back. They're never going to do the Baja again.
That sucks. The pickup truck had seats built to the back. So, the Subaru Brat. The pickup truck had seats built into the back so that it was classified as a passenger car.
Yeah.
Ford Transit was also hit. The truck was built overseas with seats, and then the seats were removed and destroyed. What?
There's absolutely no way that they would
Wow.
legally be able to get past that with today's safety standards.
Oh, that is amazing. The average U.S. tariff rate on industrial imports is now 2%, but the chicken tax still remains for light trucks.
Isn't that weird?
There's so much weird shit. Here I want to address it. Dustin said, off topic, did you try GT7 on PSVR? Okay. My wife's been asking me what I want for Christmas. Yeah. I have been bouncing between either a Asus ROG, ROG Ally, or a PSVR.
I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, it's more tech stuff. It's like
I have absolutely no idea what any of that is.
You know what a Steam Deck is, right?
Absolutely not.
You don't know what a Steam Deck is? It's basically like a handheld PC, so you can play like PC games.
So why don't you just get a PSP?
It's a really powerful PC.
So it's just a PSP.
It's a PSP, but with a lot. I actually have it. I have a first-gen PSP that I used for travel.
You don't need to break out your PSP, man. I don't need to.
I have it. Where's my?
I do not need to be.
I'm gonna get my PSP out now.
Put your PSP away.
I don't know. I really want the PSVR because I've been talking about with Kevin Vo about us doing a live stream where we do like actual race nights. I think that'd be fun. That'd be fun to do. Sam says he's got Legion Go. Yeah, this is now a completely different conversation.
All right, what else you got? What else is on your? I have no idea what we're talking about.
It's true. Okay, so did you want to talk about? So there's the whole thing about. So this is what I heard about Japanese manufacturers, and this kind of goes back to like the whole EV things where you're saying like some of the companies are slowly backpedaling, or maybe backpedaling isn't the right word, but they're wanting to try alternatives before fully going down the EV route. And some of those manufacturers is Japanese, Toyota, Mazda, and Nissan.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I mean, look at the issues with electric cars. In California alone, they're the biggest pushing state for electric cars right now, right? They don't even have the infrastructure to support everybody owning an electric vehicle. I have seen numerous times that the state has had to put out bulletins to tell people not to charge their cars on specific like days or times or whatnot because they don't have the power to sustain it, and it'll create grid issues. On top of that, look at the depreciation rate on electric cars. Like, granted, cars 99% of the time are not an investment. They're not. They're a liability.
Especially if you buy them new.
But especially new, but the depreciation on an electric vehicle is so bad.
It is.
It is so bad.
Hence, alternative fuels. So Subaru and Toyota have been pushing. They have a race. I did a video on that. I cannot remember the name of the race, where it happens in Japan. It happens every year. And different auto manufacturers, they bring biofuel-powered cars to compete against regular gas-powered cars and they're around the same power level to see how they do. So this was when the Toyota Yaris, I think it was a Yaris that they took, was still making like 300 to the wheel, but it was using like biofuels. Subaru recently this year did that earlier in the year where they built a WRX, an FA24 DIT WRX that was making about 295 to the wheel, which is more than what it's currently making right now to the wheel, which I thought was very interesting. And it was full biofuel. I have not followed back up to see how it even did in the race, like if it did better. Japan's racers kind of have not been great lately, but it was interesting.
Just power everything off hydrogen. That's the answer.
I think we just need.
Since we're talking about alternative fuels, have you seen what Porsche is doing? Like, they have an entire subdivision of their company dedicated to biofuels.
Okay.
And alternative fuels for, I don't know if that's something they would even offer for non-Porsche vehicles, but they have this whole division dedicated to biofuels for future Porsches for some of their own vehicles.
Okay. This right here. Big news, beginning the production of their innovative e-fuel, which in simple words is methanol produced with hydrogen taken from water via hydrolysis. and CO2 taken from the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But why won't it work? As was known, internal combustion engine. Okay, so there's so
They can.
people are
It will,
citing
but it's very
efficiency.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. But I feel like if that's something that they continue to do, it might become more. If they find an easier way to process, and I'm sure get all their ducks in a row, it might be something that's an actual like viable thing.
It's hard to have these conversations with car people because we're just so passionate. But I 100% agree that before we just step into electric cars fully, there may be other ways, other avenues that we need to try out. But I think because of how much fossil fuels and everything is like ingrained in us, I think some people maybe don't want to try. They're like, oh, that's not broken. Let's just keep.
Like, I don't care if we got rid of fossil fuels as long as we still had some way to. Honestly, if they just put everything on E85, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as I can just keep like
most of us are using that on a daily basis already.
Like if it got to the point where we had to like daily drive like a fuel efficient vehicle or an electric or a hybrid, fine. I don't care. As long as I can still have like a internal combustion engine on the side to like enjoy and play with. And Sam, I do not mean to completely burst your bubble here. I'm eyeing one of those Hyundai N97s hard right now. We'll never get them. They're making like 15 of them.
Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah, we talked about. They're
this?
making like 15 of them, and the starting price can be like $2 million.
It was like no, it was like 250,000. We can afford it.
With them making so little, you and I both know those prices are going to go through the roof.
They said they were making 250 over the course of like 10 years.
Nobody's getting.
We're not going to get one
unless you have just fuck you money. Nobody's getting them.
Yeah, that sucks. But
I would love one.
I think it looks awesome. I think it's such a cool looking car.
I agree, and I hate Hyundais. I am not a Hyundai person at all. That thing looks cool though.
I think it's a really badass car. So anyway, on that note, I don't want this podcast is not going to be a super long podcast, but this is something that we want to try to do every at least once a week. We're going to alternate on whose channel that we do it at, but we're going to work together to make this, I think, should be a fun thing to do. And of course, I was just thinking about this while we were doing this, that we can actually poll the community throughout the week and get some questions and see kind of like what people want to talk about, and then we can pull that information together.
And costume contests.
I love how it zoomed in on you when you said
that. We can have costume contests, sir.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite.
Oh my god! But see, this is the visual portion. So
my favorite is still the strawberry.
The videos will go up on YouTube, but we are going to have an actual podcast set up to where you can go listen to this whenever I can get that sorted out. So the costume contest, somebody's going to have to describe in full detail.
We can like have one of those people that sit in a courtroom and document everything. Just
the sketch artists.
Yeah, we could just have a sketch artist describe what they see.
I don't know if a sketch artist can really do that strawberry justice.
That strawberry is hard to do justice.
That's especially the way that you've embodied it.
You have to become one with the strawberry.
Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and we will do this more often. Tanner, thank you so much. Have any wise words for everybody before we leave?
Not really. I feel like, have a good week. Don't do anything dumb.
Don't street race.
If you have to think twice about doing it, probably don't do it.
Just remember, don't do anything we wouldn't do.
Don't listen to that. I can make some pretty irresponsible decisions.
This is true. All right, guys. This is it for tonight, and we will see you guys next week.
We'll catch you later.